Hello, everyone. My name is Raychel Vasseur, and I'm an assistant professor in the Department of Classical and Modern Languages and Literatures, where I direct first and second year Spanish. And I also teach graduate Spanish linguistics. And I'm here today to talk a little bit about how we use Flipgrid in our courses. I'm going to focus on using Flipgrid in first and second year Spanish courses. I've been using Flipgrid since I was a graduate student, so it's been a couple of years now. And we used it extensively during the switch when we converted our courses from face-to-face, more traditional courses, to online courses this past semester. But we've also been using Flipgrid in our online Spanish program since we began the program. And I think that that's an important thing to note because Flipgrid is not just something that we decided to use all of a sudden. It's a tool that we selected as a team for a number of different reasons, which I'm going to talk about today. So what is Flipgrid? If you look on their website, you might see that they describe themselves as Flipgrid is an application where social learning happens. Every student has a voice, and let's amplify. So we want to amplify students' voices. And this is really important to me and really gets at the heart of my philosophy of teaching and how I hope that students in first and second year Spanish feel, because it's important for me that students are speaking more than their instructors in first and second year Spanish. We already know how to speak the language, and so we need them to speak it. We need them to develop their identity as Spanish speakers and hear themselves and hear their peers speaking the language. And so Flipgrid really allows them to do that. And it allows them to do so in sort of a fun, social way, in a platform that is fairly intuitive to them. And that is important and has been important, and one of the reasons that we selected this tool. Another really great thing about Flipgrid is how responsive it is to educators' needs. And so when I said I started using this when I was a graduate student a couple of years ago, it didn't have all of these really cool features, but it's been evolving based on feedback from people who are using Flipgrid. And so some of the things that it has really evolved and added have to do with accessibility and equity. And that's been really important, I think. Some of those accessibility features that are now available are the ability to auto caption. And it can auto caption in more than 80 languages. And in our building, Classical Modern Languages and Literatures, we don't teach 80 languages even. So I think that we should be covered with the languages that Flipgrid offers to caption in. Another option that they have when you post a topic for your students to respond to, you usually write the topic out. And then Flipgrid has a built-in tool called Immersive Reader. And that allows students to pop the topic out into a tab, and they can have the topic read to them in case that's one of the accommodations that they need. And that's really beneficial, I think, for students who have accommodations and that we need to comply with, and it helps them be better learners and better students. And so those things have been really, really helpful and really great additions, I think, to Flipgrid. Another thing that I've seen that's been questioned, but I think that Flipgrid has an answer for it, is the question of equity. And this was especially important when we transitioned halfway through the semester. Our students didn't know that they were going to be taking classes online and required to show, where they were. And so, or required to have a video camera or things like that. And so questions were, well, what if our students don't want to let their classmates or us into their homes or wherever they are? And something that I think is really nice about Flipgrid is that you can use it on both your mobile phone or your cell phone there's a great, very easy to use app, or your computer. And you can see, as you can see on the first slide that I showed, the space around the person's head can be quite small. And so students can, record themselves doing a quick video, either against a wall where you can't see very much, they can do it outside. And then they have the option to put stickers. And so you can see this like 100%, this star, those are actually stickers, idea, that the students put on after they recorded the video. And to cover up, the background if they don't want to see it, if they don't want anyone else to see the background where they've recorded. We also now have the option of putting filters on things. You can pixelate it so you can't really see the background or the person. We also can put a whiteboard or a blackboard and then put an avatar there if that's something that you choose to allow your students to do. That's a possibility as well. So another thing about Flipgrid is when we put it in our courses, we link directly to it. And so you can see that this is a screenshot of our Blackboard course. And you can see that we give them an idea about how they should practice before they do it. And then we give them the assignment, Flipgrid. And here's the link right to Flipgrid. So they just have to click on this link and it brings them to the Flipgrid. So they click one time and then they're brought to exactly where they need to go, which is a really nice thing because they only have to click one time. This is really important for our students. They don't want to click too many times. While yes, they are students, many of them who grew up using technology, they don't necessarily know how to use technology and employ it for their learning. And so it's important that we direct them through the process and help them to use technology so that they can harness it for learning. Another thing is about these videos that students are creating that's similar to what they're already doing, in their other social apps that they're using for fun, like TikTok and Snapchat and things like that, is that the videos that they're creating are short. So I think the maximum length of a response that they can post to your topic is 5 minutes, and that's a long video. When you're creating these topics, I would encourage you to really think about, do I really need them to talk for that long, or can it be less than that? Because the goal really, probably for Flipgrid anyway, is to have students watch several of their classmates' videos and respond to those videos. Those are things that I really like about Flipgrid. Just as it's easy for our students to use the interface, it's also easy for us to use the interface. There's this great educator's guide to Flipgrid. I think this is the 4th edition. And so they're updating it pretty frequently. And it walks you through from, how to create an account. First, it talks about the terms that they're going to be using to define them. Then it walks you through how to create an account, creating a grid. So it starts very basic in case you are a little bit nervous about using the technology. And then another thing that I really like about Flipgrid is that you can put a rubric right in to the grid so that your students know exactly what they're being graded on, and you can grade it right in the response. So it's very easy for you to be able to give feedback. That's Flipgrid. There's so many more features that I could talk about and ways to use it in teaching. It's such a great tool. We really love it, and yeah, I hope that you try it out and that you also love it. Good luck.